All right, so if you're learning Japanese, you have definitely run into this thing called Keigo, and it can feel like hitting a brick wall, right? But what if it's not a wall at all? What if it's actually a game? Yeah, like a seesaw game of words. And once you get the rules, it's actually pretty fascinating. So let's get into it.
So, your textbook probably just calls Keigo polite Japanese. And sure, that's kind of true, but it's like calling chess a board game. I mean, you're missing all the strategy, the depth, the real magic of it.
Yeah, it is so much more. We're talking about something way deeper than just saying please and thank you. This stuff is woven right into the social fabric of Japan.
Okay, so here's the best way to think about it. Keigo is your social GPS. Seriously, before you open your mouth, your brain is instantly calculating, right? Who is this person? What's their status? How old are they? Are we friends or strangers? In Keigo, that's the tool that helps you navigate that whole social map perfectly.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to decode this social GPS. We'll start with what I call the seesaw of respect. Then we'll crack the code on the whole in-group versus out-group thing. After that, we'll look at how Keigo is actually used in the real world today, because it's always changing. And finally, we'll bring it all back home and talk about politeness in your own language.
In a lot of Western cultures, the goal is always to get to just call me Bob, right? We want to get rid of that formal distance as fast as we can. But in Japan, it's often the total opposite. Keigo is all about maintaining what some people call a beautiful distance. It's this unspoken way of saying, hey, I see you, I respect your position, and I'm not going to just barge into your personal space. It's actually a really sophisticated and, well, beautiful way of showing respect.
All right, let's get into the main event, the core mechanic of this whole game. Think of a seesaw. It's got two main movements, up and down. And believe it or not, the two trickiest parts of Keigo, Sonkeigo and Kenjogo, work on that exact same principle.
So look at it this way. On one end of the seesaw, you've got Sonkeigo, that's respectful language. Your job is to lift the other person up. You use these special verbs and phrases that basically put them on a pedestal. And on the other end, you've got Kenjogo, that's humble language. Here, you lower yourself down. And what happens when you go down on a seesaw? The other person goes up. It's this really cool dynamic balancing act.
And this is the key takeaway, really. This isn't just about picking the right verb from a chart. This is culture. The idea of humility, kenkyosa in Japanese, it's literally built right into the language. The grammar itself is designed to make you act with humility. How cool is that?
Okay, now for the part that trips up just about every single learner. Let's talk about uchi and soto, the in-group and the out-group. This is where that social GPS of yours has to work overtime.
So, let's pan a picture. You're at work, sitting at your desk. The phone rings. It's a client from another company. They're an outsider, a Soto person, and they're asking to speak to your boss. Let's say Manager Tanaka. Seems simple enough, doesn't it? But here comes the twist. In the eyes of that client, the out-group person, you and your boss are a single unit. You're on the same team, the in-group, or uchi. So to show the most respect to the outsider, you have to humble your entire team. That means, and this is the wild part, you refer to your own boss without any honorifics. You just say, Tanaka is not at his desk right now. You're pushing your whole side of the seesaw down, which sends the client's side way, way up. But look, Keigo isn't some ancient, dusty set of rules from a textbook. No way! It's a living, breathing part of the language, and it's changing all the time, in some pretty fascinating ways. For instance, have you ever heard of Baito Keigo? It literally means part-timer Keigo. And honestly, you can think of it like a linguistic bulletproof vest. It's this kind of hyper-polite, sometimes grammatically weird language that young part-time workers use. Why? To create a super safe distance from customers and avoid any possible complaints.
You hear it all the time in convenience stores. Things like "Yoroshikatta desho ka," which puts a present tense question into the past tense for some reason. Or "Kochira kohi ni narimasu," which literally means "this will become coffee." Now technically these are grammatically wrong, but they've become this kind of standard manual Keigo, a safe zone. It really shows you that even native speakers struggle and adapt these rules.
Now, all of this can make people think, wow, Japanese is so hard, English is easy because we don't have Keigo. But hang on a second, is that actually true? Does English really not have a system for showing respect?
No way! Of course we do. We just do it differently. Sure, we don't have a whole different set of verbs, but we absolutely have levels of politeness. I mean, think about it. There's a huge difference between barking, "Pass me the salt," and asking, "Would you mind passing me the salt?" The way we do it is different, but the goal,
Adjusting our speech based on the social situation is exactly the same.
So this is actually a fantastic topic to bring up with a language exchange partner. Because really, getting a handle on Keigo isn't just about memorizing rules, it's about getting a feel for the culture. So I've got a few questions here to help you get that conversation started.
First up, hierarchy versus flatness. Think about your own culture. Do you change how you speak when you're talking to your boss versus, say, your best friend? Or is it pretty much the same for everybody?
Okay, next, distance versus intimacy. We talked about how dropping keigo in Japanese is a big signal that you're becoming closer friends. So, how do you show that in your language? Do you start using nicknames? Do you talk about more personal stuff? What's the signal?
And last one, just think about politeness in general. In your language, what's the absolute most polite, most respectful way you could ask someone for a favor? Digging into this stuff will really give you a new appreciation for what keigo is all about.
All right, before we wrap up, let's just do a quick recap of the big ideas. We've got Keigo, the honorific system that manages that psychological distance. We've got Uchi and Soto, that tricky in-group, out-group rule. And it's all driven by this core cultural value of kenkyo-sa, or humility.
And if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Keigo isn't about being cold or putting up walls. It's an art form. It's about navigating your social world with grace and respect. A beautiful distance.
And last but not least, please don't be afraid to mess up. Keigo is tough. I mean, native speakers get it wrong sometimes. But here's the thing. Just by trying, you're showing a massive amount of respect. You're showing that you care enough to engage with a really deep part of the culture. And that, right there, is what truly matters. So go on, get out there, and have some fun with this seesaw game of words.